Hello and welcome to Rogers TV Community News. I'm Carla Fitzsimmons. Cambridge's emergency women's shelter is at capacity. In fact, since the doors opened in February, the 20-bed shelter has been full and the need is growing.
So we opened Cambridge's first emergency shelter for unhoused women in February of this year. And we decided in August, close to the end of August, around the 21st, that we would start keeping statistics on the number of service requests that we've had that we've not been able to accommodate because we've been full. So just got stats this morning, and we have had 97 requests for space that we cannot accommodate because we're full. Now that may not be 97 individual women. It may be a woman who's called 1 or 2 or 3 days in a row who's not been able to get space. But there have been 97 requests that we've been unable to accommodate. Really only one other option at this point. So 84 Frederick in Kitchener is a shelter for unhoused women as well. It's not a 24-hour shelter like ours, but that's our only other option in the community, is to send folks there. Part of the problem being is that sometimes women don't want to leave their community and go to Kitchener, and getting from Cambridge to Kitchener is not easy. If you've ever tried the bus system, sometimes it's a little difficult, and if you have all of your belongings with you, that makes it even harder. So there are some women who will choose to stay outside or stay in an encampment or try to stay with a friend because they choose not to go to Kitchener. And that's really the only other option that we have at this point. We are in conversations right now with the region about some winter overflow or for women for the winter, but nothing has been finalized at this point. But we are talking about that because we know as the weather gets colder, there will be more women who are looking for space inside as opposed to being outside. So needed to have those conversations, but should have that finalized in the next few weeks. We haven't even been open a year yet, and there was never ever a shelter for unhoused women in Cambridge prior to that. So the statistics, or the research, that we did prior to opening, we had a ballpark idea of how many women might be experiencing homelessness. But it was always really tough, and we talked about this a lot when we were doing our research, is that women stay hidden to stay safe. We do know, based on our research, that 74% of women experiencing homelessness also are experiencing gender-based violence on a weekly basis. So often will make the choice to forgo their basic needs to stay safe. And so counting the number of women who may be homeless was a really difficult thing to do. But now that there's a shelter, we're actually feeling and seeing the results of being open and what that number could actually look like. One of the things that we're trying really hard to do is to change the narrative around women experiencing homelessness. They are not less than. They're very rarely seen as victims, but as I said, 74% of women experiencing homelessness also experience gender-based violence on a weekly basis. So they are victims, and often they make decisions based on fear and trauma. But what I need to say is that they are deserving, as deserving as anyone else, to have a safe place to stay and to get the supports that they need. And many of them have been let down time and time again by systems that were put in place to support them. So it is going to take time for them to trust us and to build a relationship with us. And things are not going to change overnight. But we need to meet women where they are to help them to determine what they want their future to look like, and help them to see a future, help them to get to their goals as well. But with them leading the process and their voices centered in that. But I just think it's so important for people to realize that they do deserve a safe place to stay, and they do deserve the supports that we're able to provide for them.
The House of Friendship is reshaping how it supports families at Christmas time in Kitchener-Waterloo. The Christmas food program is still being offered as the organization shifts to connect community members with year-round emergency food programs.
We are shifting how we provide food support for folks during the Christmas season. So here at House of Friendship, we're still so excited to support people. We have the incredible support of the Kitchener-Conestoga Rotary Club. They do the turkey drive. So if you want to help us out, turkeydrive.ca is the place to go and donate. And we're supporting people all year round, but this year at Christmas, we're just shifting how we provide support, removing barriers like registration, because demand just keeps growing, and we know we need to support more people with food this Christmas season than we ever have before. You show up and connect to a food assistance program available to you in the community. And the beauty is you can get food during the Christmas season, but then you can also continue to get support. So we know some folks already come to our programs, and we're so excited that they can just get their support during the Christmas season through those programs. And then we're hoping for folks who don't know about those programs, this will be their chance to connect. House of Friendship alone has 8 different locations where folks can get food assistance all year round. And then we're also connected to lots of other organizations that provide support. So in Kitchener-Waterloo alone, we have over 5,500 households getting food support every month. So last year, our Christmas program supported 4,700 families. That's not even 1 month's worth of demand for us these days. So that's how we knew we needed to shift how we did our Christmas support. But we're still so lucky to have the Kitchener-Conestoga Rotary Club Turkey Drive. That turkeydrive.ca, it's the Christmas support we provide is fully funded by donors and made possible by donors. So we are really relying on that support. So we're trying to support over 6,500 households this Christmas season. So we need that support more than ever. And by removing barriers like registration, we are going to respond to the need as we go. And we're basing it off of what we're seeing every month. And we know that December brings more challenges. Different stretching of the dollars happens for folks living in poverty, and they need more support than they do at other times of year. So the turkeydrive.ca is how you support all of the work we do with food during the Christmas season. So they support Beyond Turkeys. The resources that go to that fundraiser help us get folks all the support they need during the Christmas time. And for folks who want to help with toys or other programs outside of Kitchener and Waterloo, christmassupport.ca is where you can go to find out what's going on in your local community. So while food programs in Kitchener and Waterloo, we're not requiring registration this year for folks looking for toys, or in some of the other cities and townships, you want to go on that christmassupport.ca to find out how to connect to the support you're looking for, or to donate or volunteer with a program.
The use of closed-circuit television systems and automated license plate recognition technology is expanding in Waterloo Region. Waterloo Regional Police Service will be strategically deploying these systems in public areas.
Closed-circuit television and automated license plate recognition are not new technologies to the WRPS. We've had them as part of our in-car video and body-worn video project that rolled out in 2021. But this is the first time that we've explored installing fixed CCTV and ALPR units throughout the region of Waterloo. So the purpose of the CCTV and ALPR stationary installations are to improve investigative outcomes, number one. The second is to improve operational efficiency so we can get officers to locations where there may be an emergency or a significant major incident. Third reason is crime deterrence. These are overt cameras with signage, and our hope is that by installing these in areas that we have our citizens who are being victimized by violent crime more often, that people will think twice about committing violent crimes in those areas. The data is going to be housed strictly with the WRPS. We have people in our real-time operations center that will be trained and authorized to access this video, and we're going to have specific retention periods of how long we're going to be storing the video data and the ALPR data that these cameras are generating. We're trying to strike a balance here, respecting the privacy of our citizens, but also ensuring that people are safe in the communities that they live. So these cameras are not continuously monitored. They are only, the video is only accessed when we have a criminal offense that's happened in that specific area, and our investigators are reviewing that footage to support investigative outcomes, to lay appropriate charges, and to gather information. The cameras may be live monitored in a neighborhood if we have a major incident where there's a significant risk to public safety, or there's some sort of emergency where our RTOC, Real-Time Operations Center, needs to coordinate police resources and get them to the right location and send the appropriate resources. The WRPS is hosting a number of information sessions on November 11th, 12th, 13th, and 18th. They're going to take part online and also in the cities of Kitchener, Cambridge, and Waterloo. Really encouraging residents in the region to attend one of those information sessions. We're going to give you a very good overview of what the program is and what the capabilities are and what the long-term vision is for this program, and also give residents the opportunity to ask any questions that they have about the program.
First responders are seeing an increase in violence on the job. The chief of paramedic services for Waterloo Region, along with a training specialist, dropped by the Mike Farwell Show to talk about this.
Is an increasing prevalence in the violence or abuse that first responders, paramedics, firefighters, police officers face. And for our paramedics, it's particularly challenging because there's lots of different reasons that the abuse occurs or the violence might occur. But at the bottom line for us, it's about keeping our people safe, making sure that we're protecting them so that they can protect the citizens when they go and serve the citizens when they go to 911 calls.
We have situations where the patients themselves, they can be experiencing a medical condition that's causing them to act out or experience violent behaviors, but also for some of the people in and around that patient care where they feel that loss of control and they don't know how to take control of that situation and may not see that the paramedics have that authority, that knowledge and experience to help. So when they don't feel like the paramedics are doing what they think that should be done, it can lead to some escalating behaviors that do have an impact on the paramedics in the moment, but also as they're recovering from that violent situation as well. So we're doing a 2-part training program for our paramedics. The first part is going over de-escalation strategies that they can use, looking at the verbal and nonverbal de-escalation strategies that they can use. And then in our next training, we're doing reality-based training. So getting paramedics to work in and around violent situations that are simulated in our safe training bubble. So that way paramedics have experiences to draw on when they do encounter violence out on the field and can practice some of those de-escalation strategies where there's clear objectives for the paramedics to learn from that hopefully translate well to help them mitigate some of those violent experiences.
We need to and will engage in, I'll call it public education strategies designed to help them know what to expect from paramedics when they arrive, and hopefully we have a good, strong, trusting relationship with the community. They value paramedics and see the important work that we do. But we probably need to double down on that and help from a public relations perspective.
Thursday, the Ford government passed legislation to ban speed cameras. The cameras are set to be removed across Ontario in 2 weeks. The measures to ban speed cameras were contained in a red tape reduction bill that the government fast-tracked, limiting debate and skipping public hearings.
This government just sees nothing wrong with speeding through this legislation without any consideration for community perspectives.
It passed 69 to 41, with the support of all PC MPPs in attendance. It's unclear when the Premier's alternative traffic calming measures will replace them. Ontario's Transport Minister said it won't be before the cameras are removed.
We'll have temporary signage, larger signage that will be installed before the 14th.
Things like flashing signs just don't slow people down. These are our children's lives.
And if one kid is injured in the interim, it is going to be on this Premier's shoulders.
Ford has said municipalities will be encouraged to use speed bumps, raised crosswalks, and roundabouts, and that there will be a new fund to help offset some of the costs. But the government has not yet provided an amount. Ontario's Attorney General wants to get rid of fixed election dates.
We are following several of the recommendations of the Chief Electoral Officer in terms of making the system tighter and more relevant. We're aligning with other jurisdictions in Canada.
Monday, Doug Downey introduced legislation to do away with what he calls American-style fixed election dates. The bill would also see the limit for political donations raised to $5,000 and make public funding for political parties permanent. The region of Waterloo has launched an anti-hate information and awareness campaign called We All Belong Here. The campaign will consist of a multimedia push with radio and television ads, along with print and online ads, plus posters and message boards in high-traffic areas. A newly wrapped Grand River Transit bus will be hitting the roadways promoting the initiative. Thanks for watching this edition of Rogers TV Community News. I'm Carla Fitzsimmons. Have a great weekend, and I will see you again on Monday at 5 p.m.